So yeah, I want and I need to watch these. Hello, chat. My arms aren't massive, but they're way bigger than they were before, or have been, I guess. But thank you.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the 5.11 update. I'll be your host today, Aggro.
Good morning.
And look, this 5.11 update, it's a matter of life and death. It's the name of the update. I just thought I'd throw a little bit of gravity into the situation. Look, we got a ton of great stuff for you. Just got a preview of the awesome skins you'll be seeing in this update. Of course, we've got God Balance, Item Balance, and the new god, Samedi. If you haven't been paying attention, we've been leaking stuff about him all week long, and this is going to be one of my favorite god reveals we've done in a long time. But we got to wait a little bit until we get there. First, let's go over again those skins if you missed them right off the bat here. First up, let's go over Evil Spirits Bacchus. Of course, we will go over these a little bit more in depth, but that's the card art for you here. Probably the
it kind of looks like Kumba for some reason to me.
Skin yet. I do not want to get flopped on by that guy. I can tell you that much. Next up, Plague Lord Hades. Hades getting another dope skin.
What?
This one kind of similar to the Izanami one.
That's all I was going to say, yeah.
Don't know if it's the most traditional duo lane you could run, but certainly the most witch doctor-y.
Doesn't really look like Hades.
Last but certainly not least, Star Spangled Nike. 4th of July coming up, and you got to celebrate in style. Imagine the patriotism of knocking someone up into the patriotic Raw skin, ulting someone, and then the Nox combo off of it. The Lady Liberty Nox. Can you imagine how much America you would just shove in the face of your enemies with that combo? Give it a shot. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Your enemies.
First up on the list, we're going to throw it over to the desk. We got a couple bug fixes they got to go over. It's Hindu, and it's AJ.
Thanks a lot, Aggro. And yeah, that's some mighty, amazing comedy value with sarcasm thrown in. You really did that well. AJ, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You ready for balance today?
Of course.
So obviously no Pompon this week because he's currently at E3. But
I heard he's having a great time, though.
I mean, that chicken looks
It was
amazing.
a really cool conference.
I'm not going to lie. But it's time for us to get on with the majority of the patch this week. It's all about bug fixes and, of course, balance. First of all, we'll go through some of the bug fixes. First up is Stone of Binding. There was an issue with this in the game where this ability no longer stacks if multiple gods buy it. I mean, at the moment it's not an issue, but it was just doing too much.
Yeah, we've seen this. A lot of the pros actually noticed this and spent.
They just ran this, right?
They've been building it double.
They're in like 3 Guardians.
We noticed that it's only been stacking 1 additional time. That's not intended, so that's going to be fixed in 5.11.
After that, we've also got a very interesting issue with Vulcan for you all. In the Inferno Cannon had a bug which was fix an issue where Vulcan's Inferno Cannon would be invisible on the Joust map while playing in Spanish or Portuguese.
What?
Just that, just on Joust, and just with Spanish.
One of the most difficult bugs to track down recently. Very strange. Apparently, Inferno Cannon, it's an old god. It was using a little bit of old code that was mostly functioning, but had some very strange condition in the database that was causing language settings. Like, normally language settings do not affect abilities in any way. So we were really confused about it. Big shout out to the community for helping us track this one down. A lot of people on Twitter and stuff helping, giving us pieces of the puzzle. It took us a while to put it together, but that'll be fixed in 5.11, and now you can always see those Vulcan turrets.
There you go. You abusive Spanish and Portuguese people who have been using that cannon to your effect. Not this time round. It was only the people who were using it who wrote that. Is that what happened?
I believe all players it would disappear for. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very strange.
Okay, and then on top of that, we've got a lot more bug fixes. We're not going to go for every single one this week, but it will be on the patch notes when they actually get released after the show.
Right. Couple things I want to go about that.
I was going to say, go through some of the big point outs.
So there's a big list on the patch notes. So once you get the actual notes, they'll be out soon. Look at this list of bug fixes. Specifically, there's a couple console-only ones.
Right.
There's some spectator ones. And there's a bunch of audio passes. So this is the first patch where we've had a lot of that come in. We're going to keep looking up that in the future. But just to summarize a bit, we've gone over Thor's ultimate for all skins and adjusted the audio to make sure that the volume and the distance you can hear it is consistent with all skins.
Welcome back, Zila the God. Thanks for the 4-month tier 1 resub, baby. Welcome back. How you doing?
I love you, BaRRA. Greetings from Holland less than 3.
I love you too.
Same thing for Raw. we did a pass on the anime Ratatoskr skins.
It's good for me,
those
Blitz.
ultimate abilities sound
Thank you,
consistent
Zila.
with the rest of his kit. Sobek, there's some Kukulkan, there's a whole bunch of things on there, and there's going to be more.
Audio.
There's a lot in 5.11. There's going to be. We're going to keep working on that. Oh,
Awesome.
we remastered a bunch of voice packs and announcer packs. Laughing Skull BaRRaCCuDDa will finally be normal. Ganesh.
Welcome back, Christina. Thanks for
Christina,
the
build
2. Wait,
tier a little better,
sorry, I
equalizer.
don't want you guys to miss anything. Welcome back, Christina. Thanks for the 2-month tier 1 resale. Welcome back. Thanks so much, Christina. Welcome back. Those random sounds I hear in the duo from Soul. Oh, dude. Also, I haven't really been listening, but I hope they fix the wards, because that's kind of annoying.
A lot of the other packs, so a lot of consistency passes.
Hearing Tina better is what I heard at the end.
I know, so not being able to hear Tina is a surprising
Yeah.
issue, but maybe it was too loud too. I mean, the key is we're equalizing them for consistency. So some were made quieter, some were made louder, but they should be a lot more consistent in 5.11.
Well, let's move on to items then. A little look at the bugs is over. We're going to start things off with breastplate. Is going to be the first item looked at here. We're going to be increasing the cost from 500 to
No more pausing.
So
You guys can read. Welcome back, Splats McGee. Thanks for the 19-month tier 1 resale. Welcome back, Lost Link. Thanks for the 2-month Prime resale. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thank you. Yeah, I'm done pausing. I did it twice. That's too much.
Right, so this is actually a very specific
Welcome back, guys.
nerf towards the solo line. Right?
I'll just turn it up a little bit.
When you're playing usually a Guardian or a healing mage, to counter your warriors, they can build
Did I do this right? Not like this.
That was Warrior's Blessing, Health Chalice,
Her?
and the Breastplate, which perfectly spent your gold and was really strong.
Yeah, that was bro P.
So what we're doing here with this, it's a very slight nerf. It's going to have big impact. So it's 100 gold change in the Breastplate, the tier 2, but it's going to change the way you build at the
Do you guys hear that music? Am I going crazy?
start. You're not going to be able to do that loadout. You're going to have to sacrifice the chalice,
Flask goal, yeah.
or you're going to have to switch to just a stack of potions.
You
or
guys hear
you're
that,
gonna have to
right?
Switch to boots. So really what we're trying to do here with this change and a few more changes you'll see today is bring warriors a little bit more back to the solo lane.
Okay.
We've only seen a couple warriors. We've been seeing a lot of mages, the healing mages, and a lot of guardians.
like
We
a
like the
piano.
solo lane diversity, but it actually feels too swayed away from warriors right now. So there's going to be a couple changes to push those back to normal.
Okay, so then that's the breastplate one. Move on to the next one, which is part of that, I would say. Gladiator's Shield. Gladiator's Shield, if I speak English. Increase the physical power from 15 to 20, so it's a small extra bit of physical power. There.
Yeah, a
Nice.
little power.
Wait,
we've
not
adjusted
nice.
this
I
item
hate
a
that
lot,
item,
and
actually.
the most recent nerfs to it were all protection nerfs. So this item had really tanky stats at first. And in Season 5, we've seen a lot of shifts. You know, minion damage and the way solo lane is playing out. It's a little safer. So we're upping the power end of this. We don't want to bring
Thank you,
back
Satsuken.
the protection.
Sustain.
I mean,
Yeah.
for one, we've already been through that, and for two, we want to promote aggression, and we also want to make sure warriors feel good early game. So we're just going with a power buff here.
Okay, so the whole 5 power on that. Next up, Rod of Asclepius and Rod of Healing, both going to get touches here. Rod of Asclepius,
Ooh.
first of all, we're going to decrease the health from 250 to 200.
Not that bad.
And decrease the movement speed from this item from 10% to 7%. Not only that, going into the Rod of Healing,
Yeah, that's not
decrease
too
the
bad.
health from 150 to 100. And decrease the movement speed.
Actually, I don't
from
really know if
7%
that's
to
bad.
5%.
I don't buy the
So
items.
mobility health nerfs, but it's still got its effectiveness of the healer.
Exactly. So healing mages are taking over the meta right now, big
Sure.
time.
Are
big
they?
time. We've never seen Ra higher than this. Aphrodite. We wanted to take a look at this item specifically. It enables a lot of these characters, but we don't want to just nerf the unique part about it, the specific, the healing part.
Right.
That can already be countered in a lot of ways. But the truth was, and our discussion with pros and why and how they were building and stuff, and we could see that these items were so well statted.
Sure.
I mean, people were telling me things like, I don't even care if I'm a healing mage. Like, this Rod of Asclepius is worth buying just for the power and the
Power,
health,
health,
and movement speed. It's
yeah.
really good stats.
Sure.
So just taking those down a little bit. This is a pretty small adjustment here, and then we're going to look at a couple of those other.
Is
guys
there a
specifically,
calculator that
just
shows
to make
like
this item feel like
how
the
good
stats
each
are
item is gold
Okay,
wise?
next up, Shaman's Ring. This is going to have
Versus
the
cost,
damage
like actual
required to
cost?
stack this item is now counted post mitigation, not pre mitigation like it was.
Right. So we had two things in the game really that count your damage for a purpose of upgrading: Jibalanque ult and Shaman's Ring. So in this patch, you're going to see both of those
Box.
change from pre-mitigation to post-mitigation.
Okay.
Originally, we liked pre-mitigation. It made sense to us on the development side, but
Right.
really in practice, it felt kind of strange.
Oof.
Sure.
Because the number you were actually seeing in the world flying off people
Wasn't
the same number as what you were actually earning. So now
Sure.
it's going to be more
In line.
consistent,
Yeah.
and it's going to create a little bit of additional choice here where you're going to want to prioritize targets you can hit harder, right? So if you're hitting just tanks, you're going to stack a little slower. So
Okay.
it's going to overall
So
it's gonna
imagine
nerf both of those effects, though, and slow it down, because even squishy characters have some amount of natural mitigations from the base stats and stuff like that. So it is a nerf.
You did mention Jabberwocky there as well, right?
Yeah, it's a spoiler alert.
We'll get to that.
Spoiler.
later on,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
One second.
Next up, Void Shield, though, is the last item on the balance this week for item
yeah.
section. We're going to decrease the cost of this item.
That item was
700
really
to
expensive.
2600 to 100 gold nerf.
Like,
But not
really
only that, we're gonna
expensive
increase the
forever.
health from 100 to 150. This is a big buff, this.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a scary item.
Yeah.
We've seen
Yes.
it come back, and when it comes back, it's everywhere. But right now, it's nowhere. So we're going to try a little bit different adjustment with a little bit of cost and health. Previously, this item had more power.
I don't know.
Like we did with
I've only
Void
seen
Stone.
like 2 changes
Just to do a
so
little
far.
bit more
Oh,
towards
but,
a green
thanks,
item,
Blitz.
and right, we've been feeling really good about that. So we're doing the same thing with Void Shield, hoping that Warriors will pick this up, and along with a couple other Warrior shifts today, hoping that they can consider this as more part of their core build.
Okay, if you're just tuning in then, for you guys at home, here's a little look back at all the items we've covered so far. We'll move on to Gods momentarily, but the main things you need to know, Void Shield and Gladiator Shield got some buffs.
Okay, so we might be looking at tanky assassins with Urchin. Oh, we still gotta remember the Urchin buffs. We'll just put that right here. So like tanky assassins might come back, because these weren't hurt too much, I don't think. So look out for that in your ranked game chat.
And some nerfs to some of the sustain items, or survivability items, I should say, for the mages, or specifically.
Because we have to keep in mind, Void Shield enables tanky people to do a lot more damage. And with Urchin kind of fills a lot of slots when you buy it, if that makes sense, like what you need in your build. So just keep that in mind. And I don't know how much the Glad Shield buff is, realistically, because I don't really buy or fight against this a lot. But I think this change is pretty big.
Healers for the solo lane and as such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, and on to the God section, which is quite a few gods this week.
Yeah.
We'll start things off with a Muzen Carb. Now, a Muzen Carb, he's going to have a bit of a change here.
Yeah, so I mean, technically this is a shift because this part is a nerf, but
Right.
our overall intent is
Yikes.
buff the god. Really, what we want to do
Big
here
yikes.
is Muzen Cub's Bee's ability, disarming people.
Right.
This was like more of a thematic choice from the designers back when this was initially added. Having bees all over you makes you distracted, I guess,
Sure,
so you
that's
can't attack. But it worked a very strange way in the game. You had to have a certain amount of time where the bees were on you, and
It's
then
hard
it
to
would,
notice when it was.
yeah,
up,
there wasn't any feedback that you were about to be disarmed. I mean, it took multiple abilities
Yeah.
from Muzen Cub to get the bees to that duration. It really wasn't an effective pump.
It just felt very awkward. Because, like, especially as someone who's played AMC a lot, when you have the disarm, it's like, oh, cool, like, this guy can't attack me anymore. But most of the time, by that time, either in the 1v1 or the team fight, it was such, like, a random effect that I wasn't expecting it, they weren't expecting it, and it's just like, oh, this is happening. It's kind of, like, awkward. But I have seen the tier change, and I'm just gonna
Part of his kit. So we're taking that out of his kit.
I saw
don't
that one
expect this to
before
be a
I
big nerf for
got the
him, but
video.
it's more of a consistency cleanup thing.
So,
So as you can see, the bees no longer disarm, but the hives have had a buff. We're going to increase
Woo!
the attack speed on this from 10 to 30%. Will be now 10 to 40%. But
Wait,
that,
oh,
increase the
never mind.
movement speed from the hives as well. It
Nice.
was 5 to 25%. It's now going to be 10 to 30%. So
That's really
really
nice.
It's going to be a little bit more.
That's-
Yeah, so
mobility.
what this is
Yeah.
kind of a
At the
rebirth.
bottom, that's really nice.
A Muzen Cobb was dominating the meta in season 4. He was really he was the best he's ever
The
been.
bee's knees.
Yeah, very nice. So we needed to take him down a notch. It appears that we took him down too many notches.
Right.
I think there was a lot of shifting with the meta. There was a lot of shifting with hunters in general. And the way the map changed definitely affected him as well. So what we're doing here is we're coming halfway back on the attack speed. He used to just get an actually like ludicrous amount of attack speed.
Sure.
So we're going a little back to the middle on that, and we're actually reverting the movement speed on hives.
Okay.
And we made a lot of changes to hives last year, better feedback, adjusting the radius and stuff so you can see them better. And that is the unique part about his kit, so we want to make sure that he still feels impactful when you are really smart and place that whole network of hives all over the map.
Well, after Muzen Cobb, we're going to move on to Aphrodite. She's seen a lot of love just lately, and the lovebirds have been a bit too strong. We're going
Nice.
to actually be toning those down a little bit. Decrease the magical scaling of the heal from 15% per tick to 12.5% per tick, so it's a 90% total to 75%.
Right.
Is what's going to be the difference there.
This is an extremely high scaling ability for a heal.
Sure.
Generally, we don't allow this type of scaling on heals. So this was causing Aphrodite to be healing really up.
This is big for the 3v3v3.
I mean, now that she's come up into the meta and people have figured out her build and kind of optimized her position, she was the most healing god in the game.
Right.
Out healing gods like Hell, who usually are AoE healing and stuff like that. Oh yeah, actually out healing Hell and Chang'e and Ra and Guan Yu. She was out healing them by a long shot. Hell was the only one even close.
Okay.
So just a little healing nerf here. Obviously, we're really happy to see mages back in the meta, healing mages back in the meta in some capacity. And it's really nice to see mages in the solo lane, but we want to make sure the counters exist. So right now we've been seeing those heavily prioritized.
So when it says decrease the magical power scaling of the heal, it's just the
Wait.
heal.
Okay. So one thing I would have liked to see changed in the item balance would be buffs to Toxic Blade. And just make it the hunter's choice for anti-heal. Because right now, it's just so bad. Like, you cut healing, but imagine like a 1v1. Like, if I build Toxic Blade, say they have a healer somewhere in their draft, but I'm not even fighting the guy that's getting healed. Like, I'm fighting like a warrior or like an assassin. My damage is so much worse. Like, yeah, it's a cool item. If I'm hitting every single person in their team and they're all getting healed, like the per cost effectiveness is really high. But that's like a very tiny situation. And like in my opinion, because it's kind of a healer meta, I think a little bit. Hunters need an effective item choice that's slightly worse in DPS, so you're not going to buy it every game, obviously. But it needs to be damaged enough to where when you buy it, you feel like, oh, I got a damage increase. Whereas right now it's got like, what, like pin and attack speed on it? And it needs like something. It needs like some kind of oomph. Like you need to feel strong when you buy it, not... I think it's like, got attack speed, movement speed, and pin, I think. I want to say. But it needs something. It doesn't need... definitely doesn't need lifesteal. Wait, it has health on it? Okay, yeah. Hunter items don't need health. You just need damage. You need something. You need to be able to hurt people. But you just don't hurt people. Like, every time I play against healers in ranked, everyone's like, why aren't you buying Toxic Blade? There was one game I bought Toxic Blade. It was like last season when Aurora brought out Hell at like the Energy Invitational. I have never done less damage in a team fight than I did with that game in Toxic Blade. I was like, never again. I'm never touching this item unless it gets like way buffed. Like it's just so
the
bad.
damage.
Correct.
Make sure you
Just
realize that.
the
as well.
healing.
Okay, just to make sure on that. Apollo. Oh my goodness!
Ooh.
What?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's back.
Welcome back, Apollo.
Apollo across the sky. Enemies hit by the last tick of the.
Feels good, man.
landing.
You can land and not instantly die.
Up.
Yep.
Knock up is a straight up and down at low height is what I've got written down here.
Right. So this is a component he used to have back in the day.
Yeah, he did.
But Smite has changed a lot.
Sure.
Meta has changed a lot. Apollo has struggled lately, heavily.
Right.
We've adjusted a couple things about him, trying to see, you know, when you look at his kit on paper, it looks pretty good.
It's OP.
So we tried to adjust a couple things on him, see if that helped. And it wasn't really igniting. It wasn't really exciting Apollo players. If they weren't picking him up more, his performance wasn't changing very much.
Sure.
So we wanted to go back and look at, you know, this thing that he had before that was really iconic for him and really fun and really powerful. But we wanted to do it carefully.
In the right area, yeah.
Yeah, so the ultimate does not knock up in the exact same way it used to. It used to knock enemies very away and pretty far. Now it's more of an up and down. It fits with him crashing into the ground.
Okay.
It feels, I think, impactful and thematic to the
Welcome back,
ability.
Commander
It
Spock.
reads really
Thanks so
clearly
much.
because it's right
Prime
in the
Reese,
list. It's only the
welcome
last
back, baby.
Okay,
Thanks so
kinda
much, man.
Shockwave knock-up
Waffle
style.
cream stream at
similar,
1K.
similar to Geb, yeah, this the little up.
I would love that. I love eating waffles.
Just see how high that was going.
So this will really help Apollo's ultimate do more than just split push or scout out the map.
Okay.
Which would be nice. Because right now hitting with that ultimate is a huge risk. So this will help mitigate that a bit.
Next up,
The music's back.
Or a wheelish, whichever way you want to call it. Summon Suku. We've increased the strafe speed on Suku by changing hard cap on movement speed from 175 to 225.
Nice.
We've updated the ability description to show this as a
That just
speed
felt
cap
awkward. It felt so bad.
of speed. Not only that, a wheelish is also going to get gravity surge. The
What's up,
ultimate is
Mark?
going to come down in cooldown. It was 90 at all ranks. It's now going to scale all the way down to 70 at level 20. What's going on with the wheelish?
So the Suku one, more of a quality of life adjustment.
Right.
We noticed that description was kind of rounding, so we shifted that to be shorter to actually be accurate, and then we made it a little bit faster to run and let you change direction on Suku. And then the ultimate, we just
Welcome back,
wanted to
Leah.
let
Thanks for
Willix focus
28
on
month
the
tier 1
Willix
resub. Welcome
has
back.
This
2
ability
months
that
too
negates
long.
leaps. It's a very unique ability. No one else in Smite can do something like this. We want to
You
make
want
sure
me
that
26
teams who
months?
want to pick her for that reason will see that.
Two
Two.
8 months too
Oh,
long.
I see
Hot
the
dog
8.
steamer stream at 1,000 subs.
I mean, if someone goes with a
Whoops.
comp with the Odin,
Look at that,
and
Leah.
multiple gods leaping,
I can't read.
We want a Willix to be an attractive pick, and we just didn't feel like that was the case yet.
That's
Sorry,
Yeah.
I
Next up on
can't
the
read.
list is Kefri. Kefri getting a little bit more
No.
love once again. Some
No one likes
interesting changes
Kefri
here.
except for
Fortitude,
PBM.
First of all, this is the passive. We've increased the radius from
Whoa.
30 to 40, so it's a little bit wider.
Wait, does a Wheelix need a buff? I feel like she does. I feel like she's not really ever played ever. Like, it might be really strong in other game modes besides Conquest, but I kind of feel like she does.
For people to get that
Yeah.
effect of the shield. And not only that, the Abduct is going to get a bit of love here as well. When Kefri abducts, he will now gain 10 to 30 magical and physical protections while holding an enemy god he hit with Abduct. Has to be holding it.
Right, he has to be hitting and holding that god at the time. As soon as they
Gotcha.
break away, he will lose the protections. If he misses, if he goes to his minion, he loses it.
So what's the reason for that? Like, why are we giving him protections when he's pulling someone?
So Kepri was often punished for doing this. He wants to set up his team. He wants to do CC. But
We
if he
talked
hit
about this.
The other team would just blow him up. 'Cause
I
he's
said it was a good
global,
idea.
He's locked into an animation. So we just wanted to help offset that a little bit.
Okay, so a bit more protection for him to be able to use his ability. After Kepri, we move on to the Morrigan. The Morrigan going to get a bit of love this patch as well. It's on her Confusion, her 3, her Stealth. We've increased the movement speed of this ability.
No.
From 20 to 40%. We're going to be bringing that up a little bit more, so to 30, scaling up to 40%. So it's a bit more movement speed in the early
Wait,
game,
do you
same
level
game,
your
same
ult on Morgan,
this
or do you
guy-
level your
they're
3
hard
after your
guys.
2-1?
Was pretty popular Pro League in Season 4, but not so much in Season 5. The map got bigger, but she didn't get anything to really help her deal with that.
She also got slower, if you remember, because we did touch her, didn't we? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the stealth duration and things.
Yeah,
Your
we did
ult.
duration.
So this is
yeah.
actually really good,
so
right?
what we want to do is let her do that. She's really good at rotating and ganking.
Okay.
But she kind of lost that facet. That's like her core thing too. So this rank 1 buff is pretty big.
Wait, I never played Morgan.
Especially
What?
when it's going to be the last one. you
Why would I know
advance
that?
Anyway, so it's a nice little buff
Right.
in the
1
early
point
game.
wonder here.
Yeah, that's what you're after. Osiris also going to get some love. Not seen much Osiris recently. We might now. Sickle Strike increased the base damage from 60 to 240. It's now going to be 60 to 260. So as you max that out, it's going to be worth more. And Lord of the Afterlife, we've decreased the cooldown of this. It was 90 seconds. It's going to be 75 seconds at all ranks. That's going to be up quite off.
Right. So Sickle Strike is really low.
Okay, that's
cooldown
pretty big
ability.
buff.
It takes a lot of skill to hit these over and over again and really chain them into Osiris autos. And that's really like the core of the character for us. So we wanted to reward players who do that well.
Right.
And then
Osiris
the
jungle
Afterlife is similar
every
like I mentioned
game.
with the Willix. We wanted the counter pick potential to be real.
Ugh,
Willix counters
I don't want
mobility.
that meta.
Osiris can counter healing.
Right.
So with this decreased cooldown, you can really lock him in if you see that Afro Chonga get picked.
Makes me a little bit safer in that solo lane too.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit safety for him, yeah.
Ra, next up, another ultimate change here, and it's going to be
Twing is
Searing Pain
back.
cooldown. It's actually going to go up a little bit. It was
Nice.
70 to 50. It's now going to be 80 to 60. So 10 seconds at the top end in terms of where it was. I guess it was just too low.
It was the lowest cooldown in the game for an ultimate.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
So much
outside of the
cooldown.
stance changers and stuff, you sticklers out there. But this god he's doing really well in the Pro League, really well across all levels of play. His objective secure is insane.
Sure.
And his ability to just essentially remove someone from a team fight before it even starts.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just slow that down a little bit so he's not doing this so often. Keep a close eye on him, but this should be a slight bump in the right direction.
A slight touch.
Yeah.
Well, next one's quite interesting for you guys
Oh,
at
here's a
home
big
as well.
one. Here's a big one.
Time to move on to our boy Tyr. Now, Tyr's gone through a lot of iterations.
This is a
Yeah.
fiesta.
Yeah.
And as people can see on the screen now, it's already showing the disarm.
Yeah.
It's going to be on there.
Why
are we bringing a disarm to tier? What is it tier needs?
Why?
So tier's just been struggling statistically for a very long time.
Right.
We've made some adjustments. They didn't
Why?
really have much of an effect on him. That's because he's a very hard to play god.
Sure.
You have to be really good in position.
Cripples and
You got to
beats.
watch out for that. And yeah, people can counter his main combo pretty easily. So what we want to do is give him something that doesn't just rely on his main combo.
Right.
This guard stance dash was really underwhelming ability. Just didn't
Sure.
do anything.
But it used to be OP, so I understand why it was so weak.
Right. I guess it had a knock-up, right?
Yeah.
Way back in the day. That's what I remember. Okay. Yeah, so... now
Such
we're
a
gonna go with the
weird-
disarm. Right. This is interesting because it has solo lane.
Okay, like, I'm cool with buffs, but this buff just feels so awkward. Like, okay, I'm cool with buffing tier. Like, buffing tier sounds great, because, like they said, a lot of things beat him, and, like, he's just beat by a lot of gods. But this buff just feels like, it just feels awkward. Like, I'm gonna get dashed on in his guard stance or defense stance, whatever. I'm like, why can't I hit? Like, this is just
Potential as well as
This is just
counter
weird.
potential, right?
Sure.
So he can slow down
Some clout.
warriors clear by stopping them from basic attacking. He can also use this that if for some reason they do immune his fearless combo, he can go guard stance and he can disarm a hunter to slow them down, let him get a few more swings off, peel for his team better. Really, we just wanted to give tier is such a flowy god, and
Yeah.
you're switching and you're rotating your abilities and going through your cooldowns. We wanted to give it another component to weave into that combo to make sure that players who play tier really well will be rewarded for it.
This seems like a great, in my opinion, it's a fun change because he can pop Magi's himself
That
now.
is another key
he
component
can pop
of this
beads
change.
a little bit now
Yeah.
beforehand and maybe go for his fearless.
Being able to break bubbles on his own with this guard stance ability would be big.
So obviously with the disarm, the
We
stance
only
damage
play
is
Learn
also
how to
gonna be
cleanse the
separated from
disarm.
assault stance damage as well on the fearless. So we can have two different separate numbers for when you're in different stances. And with the guard stance damage, we're going to be increasing that. It was 40 to 240. It's now going to be 70 to 270.
Right.
Assault
40
stance damage is staying the same. This is only defense stance.
Correct. And yeah, 40 damage was just like, that's nothing.
Right.
And that was because of the whole 2-1 50%
Wow.
connections. We're just going to break that and specify the numbers.
Very interesting. Let's see how tier plays out then, because I think we'll see a
Gonna
little
be
bit more.
Wait.
exciting. Yeah, I hope we do see more.
Does that make his level 1 like really good? I don't play solo. I play like one solo game like season 5. But doesn't that? I feel like his level 1's like really good now. I feel like that's a lot of damage. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't play tier, but I feel like that's a pretty like. I feel like 30 damage is pretty.
More of him.
And
Pretty
finally, last but certainly not least, BaRRaCCuDDa. We mentioned it a little bit earlier on, but Dead of Night. First of all, damage required to stack is now counted post-mitigation.
Right.
Nice.
Adjusted buff bar icons to show difference between damage counter stacks and physical power buff stacks.
Yay.
Not only that, we're also going to be touching the Darkest of Nights. It's going to have a bit more of an increased cooldown.
Oh.
It was 90 seconds. It's now
That's good. I like that.
110,
I like that.
27.
Yeah, that's a big change, but that is
It's the best ult in the
consistent
game.
with global ultimates
Right.
that hit all enemies.
Okay.
And that's really what we wanted to do. Since our adjustments for BaRRaCCuDDa a couple patches ago, he has been top hunter in the
Like,
game.
yeah.
The top
No,
hunter.
imagine that.
So we wanted to slow down his passive ramp up a little bit.
crazy.
We adjusted the numbers recently, but then we were working on this consistency and this feedback change, so this worked really well for him too. Same with that visuals. He has a passive icon, but there was two. There was the numbers for the damage and the stacks, power stacks. Now there's a
Sure.
look a little different. And then
The
we
ult's
have
just the
Dark
ult's so hard
Knights.
to play
It's a,
around.
it's a very strong ultimate. I
Yeah.
know some people at first glance they don't think it's that strong. It doesn't do damage like outright. Like
Who
raw
thinks it's not
ultimates like that.
strong?
But its a potential is
Bronze
insane. It
players.
essentially makes the other team can't fight.
Blind
Yeah, they have to run,
is what it
and
is,
then they
right?
have to stop for a fraction of a second.
Okay.
So it's tricky. So yeah, up in that just to bring that inconsistency.
Well, that's it for all the items and gods this week. Thank you for joining me, AJ. Here's a little look back at what we saw in the gods if you just tune in. Buffs.
Okay, so I feel like that's a pretty big change, because you don't level that ability apparently till ever. The Kebri buff's pretty nice. I mean, that just makes him plucking safer, which was, in my opinion, that's Kepri's main downfall. Is like, how do we start a fight as Kepri? Okay, you're gonna pluck into 5 people, or like go for a root, and then we have to step up into your root range. So now you can like pluck and safer. The Apollo buff's pretty nice. At the end of the day, I really don't know how much that's gonna change Just depends on if the knockup's actually sufficient enough to where you can land and not die. Because that's his main thing late game. Sometimes in team fights, you just don't have an ult. And that's just what it is. Like, Apollo's best scenario is a late game team fight. He gets very low escapes, ults back in. That's his best scenario. Not like he's full HP in a team fight. All his teammates are dead. I guess I'll go ult and split push while you guys do fire. Wheelix buff, I think that's pretty good. I don't think that has 2 L's in it. But, yeah. Same with the Wheelix. I don't really know. I feel like it's a pretty big buff in other game modes. I don't really know how much it affects her in Conquest. It depends on, obviously, if you can get off 2 ults in a team fight. Osiris, kind of nice, but I don't really know. Like I said, I don't play Osiris that much. I feel like it's a pretty nice buff, but this buff, this is something. This is a scary buff. We'll see how much that. I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Like all the other like nice little buffs, but the tier buff is that's a big something. That's just scary. Shablanc, I mean, he's gonna pretty much feel the same, I think. Afro, feel like that's a slap on the wrist, kind of, in my opinion. Ra, I feel that's actually a pretty big nerf. AMC, the disarm was really nice, but it was too awkward to use, and I feel like a lot of times I wasn't even aware of it happening or thinking about it. I feel like it just kind of happened, so I feel like I'm still going to be playing the same god. I feel like he's just going to be buffed now, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
From
Chat.
Oregon, Capri, Apollo, Wheelix, Osiris, Tear, and then nerfs to Jubilanke, Aphrodite, Raw, and a shift on a Moose and Cobb. We'll see how that one plays out too.
AMC got a buff on his Hive, and they took the disarm away.
What do you say about that? That's what's important.
I feel weird here without my Pon wig and when I'm impersonating him.
Yeah.
Without him here with me.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pon.
I miss Pon too.
We'll see him soon.
Not really. It's time though to get back over for the skins before we get into Baron Samedi. It's time to head over to Aggro and his guests on the couch.
Thank you very much, guys. Excited for that tier change, but Apollo main right here. Sign me up right now. All right, as you mentioned, it's time for the skin section, and as usual, I'm joined by Tina and Ashley here on the couch, but I've also got a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Thor DG. Thor, what is up, my guy?
Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Nice. I've made it, Chad. I've made it, everybody. How you doing out there? Ooh. I will say, I think I've broken your couch, though, so I'm kind of sinking into it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I didn't
fine.
know that guy was that big.
Break our couch. That's totally fine. Thor, why don't you let people know what you've been doing here? You've been here for a little bit now.
Yeah, I'm spoiling everything. No, I've been here for the last 2 weeks. No, seriously, I'm blinking 3 times. Come save me, Chad. No, I've been hanging out with the Realm Royale team, the Smite team, getting to see what you guys are working on. So I might have earned the biggest creeper ever brought to the studio. So
nice.
There's that.
That guy's huge.
You've been learning all the secrets.
All the secrets. So.
Seriously,
I didn't know he was that big.
I hope you know that.
I will say, though, I feel like a bad parent with my community. I'm just hopefully not running around the studio or wherever they're at, just like smearing everything on the wall. So, hey, out there, calm down. Don't.
Relax.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
everything's fine.
I'm playing that
okay.
guy.
All right, let's get into it then, guys.
What's up,
The
Gals?
skin section. We can get a little bit more in depth.
Oh boy,
on
the
skins
skin
we saw earlier
section.
on. First up is going to be Evil Spirits Bacchus. We got to look at this one to start off the patch notes show.
Sounds
Bacchus has
like
a lot
Bacchus
of fun
to me.
skins. You know, he's Elvis. He's an opera singer. All this kind of stuff. This Bacchus is just a badass. Like this dude's a beast.
Yes, and he's been cutting too.
He looks good.
Yeah, you've been
look at
hitting that
those
keto
abs,
diet.
dude.
He's looking really solid. You've been helping him out with the workout routine, Thor?
A little bit. You know, listen, I had PTSD for Bacchus way back in arena, ranked arena. So now I actually have a face to put the fear behind. So yeah, he's bringing it, man. I'm impressed. Definitely.
He's looking really solid there. Kind of fits with the voodoo theme that we have going on as well with this update. Baron Samedi obviously joining us as our first voodoo god, as now we'll get our first look at Evil Spirits Bacchus. This one, damn, he does look good, man. He really did lose some weight.
God, he's been
I was about to say,
His
what?
abs. He's got a 4-pack. That's better than what he had.
Man, Bacchus is in better shape than me, guys. That's a feels bad
That's
now.
a bad
He's got a
moment.
dad bod.
Do you guys see his insects around his head?
Ooh, instead of like the drunken bubbles now.
Yeah,
Insects,
There we
like,
go.
they're like I believe
Christian.
one of our effects artists, Andrew, did those. They're corpse spies, is what I was told.
corpse
Ooh.
spies.
Corpse flies.
It looks like something out of Diablo
There
for
he
me.
is. That's really
Like the
awesome.
voodoo. I think it's like
He
Act
drinks
3
the
or something.
flies?
He's like, get away from me.
Ooh, the voice pack is pretty
Wait,
cool.
why is it so
I'm excited to
laggy?
hear the voice lines for that one. Still burping on fools. Very bassy on the sound effects. We've been doing a lot more of that recently.
Dude,
on
the auto
on
attacks
belly
look
flop.
so good.
Gotta say, I'm a big fan. Feels like a drum hitting the ground, almost. Ooh, speaking of big
That looks really
sounds,
cool.
that
Yeah.
Intoxicate is dope.
Oh man,
Ooh.
extra spoopy.
Swoopy.
Very,
Wait, what's that thing on the right?
Yeah, I get on board with that.
Yeah, I can.
The right
I
at
can
Owen's
definitely
health
see.
bar.
You know,
Wait, what
nothing
is that?
feels good about getting belly flopped into Intoxicated, but
Wait.
if it's gonna happen, at least it'll happen in a cool sounding way, right?
Absolutely.
Could be a lot worse. Let's take a listen to that voice pack.
How grotesque. I am bewitching! Attack left leg. Attack middle leg.
I love it. Evil spirits, Bacchus.
He's drinking juju juice.
He is drink. Is that what it is? Not the
Juju
flies.
juice.
Okay, that's better than him drinking the corp.
Oh.
Yeah, he has his own language.
Oh boy. That will definitely
Okay.
not get
Guys,
annoying
what
in game.
are you doing?
Yeah, I don't.
Not like this,
I
guys.
don't
I'm not
know.
sorry. I am not sorry. It's gonna be great.
Wait, you wrote that, Tina?
Yeah.
Can
I
you
mean,
vocal like how you wrote it actually on the sheet for them to like? What did you have to write for that?
Yeah.
Oh, just like that, huh?
Yeah,
Is-
Oh, is there a translation? Is there a story behind that?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a witch doctor.
Okay.
So he just learned his own little language from his tribe or wherever.
okay.
So he'll just, use that when he's happy and drinking his juju juice. So and he has like different fetishes that he likes, like
Oh.
no. I mean,
Oh.
like
Sure.
Okay.
not pervert fetishes. I'm talking
sure.
about like actual talismans and stuff. Like we're not talking about foot fetishes here, you freak.
No.
Anyway,
Okay.
we're just talking about like that's
Wait.
what he is. He's like this witch doctor. He has different, talismans and fetishes, and he likes to
Wait, never mind.
do chants like the boom bum bum blah yeah whatever the stuff. Yeah.
And drink his juju juice.
And drink his juju juice.
And drink
I don't
his
know if
juju juice.
anyone, maybe nobody caught this.
Oh, and this is
but-
Todd Habercorn.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
the voice
The
actor.
voice actor is Todd Habercorn, which he is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
he's done
clearly
a lot of stuff.
clearly is very good at speaking the witch doctor tribal language.
Yeah, it was really funny for me to explain to him how to say it. He's like, "So how do you say that?" And I would just like be like, da 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 da, right? And then he'll repeat, and it was great.
Wow, impressive
And
stuff.
he kind of improv too, so it was.
Ashley, I missed everything. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you probably didn't notice this, but his name, like evil spirits, that's a pun.
Yes.
I don't think anyone caught on to that, but
I didn't get,
I'm
I
really
didn't
excited
get
because
that.
the Baron patch, and then it's gonna go really, really well with that. So.
Yes,
For
it
sure.
does. It does fit with the thematic again, the voodoo sort of nature of this update, life and death, and Bacchus bringing that death. All right, that does it for Evil Spirits Bacchus. Plague Lord Hades.
Yeah.
Next up on the list. This one matches that of the Izanami skin a little bit, but definitely has like a little bit. I love the green that's ingrained with this.
Lots
I'm
of
always
green.
biased for the green because green's my
It's
favorite
my favorite color.
But Tina, Jinx.
Jinx.
Oh, you guys don't
You
get
know
it?
Jinx?
You-
Galaxy
Oh.
Jinx.
Okay, I don't know. I'm lost. I
Oh,
lose
okay.
the Jinx war. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody knows how much I love Hades. But I will say, you guys are leaving yourself open for some Izanami, Hades, romance, little wine, candles,
Ooh.
dinner,
Ship
little
that.
bloated corpses by moonlight. I don't know.
how do they
Oh.
kiss when they have those beaks?
Yeah.
It just
That-
They peck each other, dude.
Is that where you went?
They just
straight
peck.
to the beach.
I mean, no, you know what? I think Ashley has a great point here.
it's important.
Going to be difficult to do so. I mean, you don't want to take something tells me with the green lights coming from behind the mask that you don't want to take that off. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
romance is great and all, but
Ooh, maybe they have really long tongues, so they just
Oh,
like
there we go.
French tongue kiss.
okay.
And we got there.
And who would have guessed that it was
Yeah.
Tina who would get us there, right? Yeah,
That-
immediately.
Oh, yeah,
That
that
Izanami
looks really
skin
cool,
is my
actually.
favorite. Izanami skin, the plague bearer,
Yes.
and this plague doctor look is just so cool. I mean, like, it just looks really scary and really interesting.
Very bulky, and
I just like it a lot.
look at the
The gaseous.
Okay,
fumes.
welcome back,
fumes,
Gabriel
like,
Rat.
the
Thanks for
containers
9
where all
months.
his
Tier 1
plague
resub.
is.
Welcome
And
back, baby. Thanks so much,
Bubbles
man.
coming out. I love
Thank you,
the
Gabriel.
little tubes that come around as well, and he's very bulky with the armor. The Izanami skin is like very light. You know, she's kind of like wispy almost. This one, like Hades, is ready to mess you up, man.
Yeah, God bulkiness has been up 23% since I've been here, so
That-
I'm pretty excited
It's true.
about that.
Well, actually, Baka's bulkiness went down.
That's fair. That's
And
fair. But he's
now-
cutting. He's getting the,
Yeah,
he's getting the
you're right.
Tito.
But it's turning that bulk into bulk.
He reminds me of that League of
That
Legends
was
character.
Yeah, very very nice.
That
Plague
sprays
Lord
all
Hades
the
with
goo everywhere.
Auto attacks.
Green bubbles.
Ooh, that auto attack noise is dope. Little squishies. Very bubbly.
Yeah.
This whole skin just very bubbly. But those are not the kind of bubbles that you want to just like play around in.
Yeah. There's a concern when we do skins with green effects that the green will look like a healing. A lot of times you try to reserve green effects for healing abilities. So there's a
They do?
purposeful decision here with like making that green look poisonous, dangerous, not healing. Don't want anyone getting confused.
Right, a little bit noxious.
They
is
do?
the right word, I suppose. for-
Noxious.
You want to know something very embarrassing?
I would love to.
Okay. Oh, I almost went in a different direction with this, but I actually didn't know because I hate Hades. If I'm
Okay.
being honest with you, I didn't know about the heal from Hades.
You
I
didn't know
was like,
that
one
I-
heal only the
Nope,
thing like
absolutely
Afro,
not. So, yeah, I was going
no,
over the
hell
balancing thing. I was like,
no,
wait a second. Do not-
Raw, no,
Wait, I was there.
Zongqui 2.
No one told me that ultimate.
Oh,
Again,
but
very
numbers are-
spooky
okay,
in the
yeah, that
sound
makes
department.
sense.
This
Yeah,
is just
that makes sense for
a
sure.
kind of spooky skin in general. Again, keeping in theme. With the
Sylv,
light.
yeah, Sylv, nice. That's a
I'll have to
green
break my
heal.
curse. I may have to play some Hades now. My
Yeah.
Sandy's gonna get on.
Good job,
I'm
girls.
sorry we had
girls.
to do it to you, Thor. It's nothing personal, man. We just gotta get everyone on the aboard
He's
the
really
Hades
fun to
train.
play.
Shoot.
He is
He's
fun,
really
to
fun to
play.
play.
I am a big Hades
Back in
fan.
my day, he used to be a mage, and now you guys are all changing it around.
No, he used to be a guardian. We made him the mage.
There we go.
for-
I can't
for
keep.
you.
I can't keep track of these
No,
things.
it's all right. You're trying to mess it up because Hades is the bane
Sure.
of your existence. This
Sure.
kind of is the bane of Hades' skin. Let's take a look at his voice pack.
How maleficent! I'm infectious. The crows are waiting
This is patch notes.
at you. Don't worry, the disease
Okay.
left a few of my parts intact. You'll soon
What?
be a corpse.
I don't get it.
Come close. I'm your cure.
God.
Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Every time there's some sort of mildly inappropriate
Pookie?
voice line, I look over at Tina, and Tina is already staring at me. Like, by the
You're
time
like-
my eyes move to her,
Staring
she's
at
already
him.
just, like, staring right at me. Like, yeah, I did that.
She
Like,
does this just for him.
yeah. She was already ahead of us with the Izanami,
Oh,
like,
man.
fanfic there.
Oh yeah. And I can
Yeah.
confirm this is how actually Tina really is, because I've seen these shows before. I'm like, is
Sure.
she like that? But now getting
Yes.
to spend some time with her, no, it's not an act. It's 100% Tina.
That
What's up,
is
Berserk?
Tina all day.
Genuine Tina.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cringe.
I like the voice pack kind of makes him sound like he's like he's not some sort of like weird demon. He's like in control, right?
Right,
He's
so
an
what
evil
he-
doctor almost.
So what he is I wrote him as a person who kind of lures children. I mean kids. I mean people.
People, yes.
Lures people, thinking that he actually will help them because that's what plague doctors do. They actually try and help
Mm.
people, but instead he's like, "Come hither," and then he just like
Get out the leeches.
kills you.
Crazy, because
Oh,
I haven't
no.
met any helpful
What?
plague doctors lately.
No, never once have I been like, I need some more plague in my life.
In tradition, like
Sure.
I'm talking about traditional plague
Love you,
doctors.
Dad.
What?
Less than
Welcome
10.
back to Juke in the Box. Thanks for
Plague
2
or
month
whatever.
prime
This
resub. Welcome
guy
back,
is, like,
baby.
pretending to
Welcome back,
heal you,
Juke.
But then instead just infects you more with that green shit. You know?
Fair enough. Yeah, and
sour.
then gives you
What?
the finger wag after that. All right, that's Plague Lord Hades. Then it's going to be Star Spangled Nike is next on our list. A bit of a
Babe.
patriotic skin here. This is like a mecha patriot almost, you know, like
Okay.
with the wings.
She's like a superhero patriot.
Okay.
Almost like an
She's so
Iron Patriot.
beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some of you nerds out there were gonna get that one. So
That was,
best
that
friends.
Was, that was
I love
solid. That was good. I could appreciate that. Nike does already have one superhero-like skin. I forget
face is
exactly what it's
beautiful.
called, but it's like the green
The
one.
sparrow.
Sparrow. Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
on it.
So now you can, if you needed a little bit more like machine in your life, in your superhero life, this could be the Nike.
I don't have to
skin.
hold on to a copy pasta.
It looks really, really dope. I'm excited
like
to see it in game.
A female superhero.
Wait, those are Mercy wings, right?
The only sad thing is that we have to wait for 2
I didn't even
more
think about
Januaries
that.
I mean, yeah, to get July's rather to get a full America team. So
It's true. What we've got Raw. No, you've got 4. We've got
Wait.
4 with this one. It's
we?
Raw, Nox, Zeus, and Nike.
this is 100%
No,
true.
we have 5. Chiron. Oh, America team.
He's
My
not
bad.
America team. Yeah,
That's
not just
America's
like
hat.
Wait, those are Mercy
nationalities.
wings, right?
We do a North America team.
I haven't played much
North
Overwatch.
America team.
Canadian Chiron.
Yes.
Boom, baby. There we go.
You can make that work.
Yeah.
America's hat.
America's hat.
Star Spangled Nike, right there. Just red, white, and blue from head to toe. Not a moment wasted on being a Patriot here with her skin. Let's take a look at some of the abilities.
Look
Got
at
some
the
little stars, yeah, coming out.
And stripes.
Got them both.
I love what you guys do with the wings. Kind of claps it back to the old mechas.
The music.
Okay, that's really cool.
That music is incredible. Hold on, I want to listen to that again.
That's
This is the most.
design.
She has a background music to her life?
This is the most dramatic thing I've ever heard in my
Oh my
life, and I
gosh,
am so stoked.
Nike, how are you out of mana? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just hitting my abilities in lane to listen to my songs.
I was just jamming. Imagine like going to steal a fire giant. You press the 2, the music starts
Dude.
playing. Then you're trying to
You're
like steal
no,
it with
stop
the red.
music. Everyone can hear me.
So good. I love it. That is so awesome. I'm so excited to be using that. And the little lines
The
along
flags,
the ground.
dude. The flags.
This is amazing.
Ooh.
Dude.
So cool.
Oh, look at her visor. Look at her face.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
What's with her face? Yo,
Oh,
can
it's
we get a
gone.
360?
The visor.
Oh man. And the music again in the background. This is so dope.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sick.
Oh.
I just feel like I'm in a movie when
Even though it's gonna get taken away.
Like that's
Yeah,
exactly what it feels like. I've got to save America
America, heck yes.
from some unknown evil entity.
Yeah, man.
And you're gonna do it.
Yo, don't forget to pop out the VXG.
VXG, we got one. Let's take a look at it. She uses the wings and flies.
Okay,
And
yeah,
has
that
the
skin's
little
getting taken away.
flares on the end.
I want to tell you guys, there is music that goes along with this, but we were still working on it as of yesterday. So
Fair
just
enough.
hang in there. It will be in the final release.
Perfect.
Yes.
Ashley, would you
Goodbye,
like to hum
Mercy.
it for us? A little bit?
I'm
just kidding with you.
Your face
I
says
can make something up. Do you want me to make something
absolutely no. I don't.
That would be
No,
my guess.
nailed it.
Great.
That actually
Next.
would fit it very well.
Now,
Is that
now,
what it sounds like?
if it isn't that,
No,
then
it's
we're
not.
gonna
I
be.
think
Okay,
it's
wait,
like-
I need to look up Mercy on my other monitor.
I just saw like
Mercy
badass
wings.
America music
There we go.
as the
that's-
description of it.
That's what I said.
That's what I gave you already. Star Spangled Nike. Let's take a listen to the voice pack. of
Okay,
this
so it's
guy.
not the exact same,
They're chanting, "My
but it's
day."
kind of close.
It's a great day to serve justice. The other day I heard someone say, "Hey, red, white, and booty." So I punched them in the nose. The end.
Good story.
Are you called American or an Americant? Quit slacking. Let's go.
Jesus,
No,
sorry.
please. Ask me about my patriotism.
I'm digging it. Do we have the woohoo and that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. Guys.
I walked right into that one.
That's some American exceptionalism right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way to go.
Way to go. This skin is amazing. This is definitely my favorite Nike skin to date.
Oh, yeah.
Probably my favorite Patriot skin to date. I mean, I love the USA Zeus and the Raw and the
Right on
Nox.
America.
But man, this one, the music takes it to a whole nother level.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
And of course, there will be music with that VXG.
Don't
as Ashley
forget
mentioned.
the 2 announcer packs.
Ooh, there are announcer packs?
Yes, so there's gonna be Constable Moose Jaw announcer pack and Raw America announcer pack because we couldn't figure out how to,
Raw
you know,
America.
which one to choose. So
So why not both?
Why not both? Yeah.
Why not
Porque- What is it? Porque
los dos.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ashley.
Perfect. So you'll be able to get those, and that's coming in 5.
Wait, you gain that much health in your shield?
Yeah.
Dope.
It's with this when you go to get her, you'll hopefully also get
What?
the other stuff.
Awesome.
The
That'll be
announcer
it.
packs.
So much America coming at your face. I
Yeah.
love it.
How are you going to be able to handle all of that? Now on the 4th of July, instead of going out and like spending time outside, because who wants to do that? You can stay inside and celebrate that way, right?
Eat it, Hindu man. I see you over there.
Well, Hindu man is
Nothing wrong with being pasty.
is waiting. There. Is that what you think he's upset about? He's from England. That's what he's upset about, Tina.
Pip, pip,
Oh.
cheerio.
Sorry.
We're celebrating
Yeah.
leaving
No, it's
him.
not because he's pale. Like, why you got to come out of that day? It's out of nowhere.
Sorry.
I'm pale too. I'm going to stick up for my
his
pale
face.
brethren. Come on.
Look at his
That's
face.
messed up. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thor, thank you for joining us
No
on the update
worries.
show as well. It was
No
a pleasure,
worries.
my friend. Let's throw it over to the Englishman
When can we
himself,
see
sitting
Thor
by with
shirtless?
Isaiah.
Yeah, always nice to hear about America and freedom.
Okay, let me turn.
It's my favorite time of the year.
Guys, I can feel the salt like all the way over here. It's like consuming everything.
Man, it just gets every year gets like I thought Raw America was bad. I don't think it could have got worse than Raw America. It just did. Anyway, I digress. It's time for the quick community.
I love
update
Hindu
for
Man.
you all. First of all, the eSports section, which is why I'm on this for this week. If you've not been watching the Smite Pro League, you should be. It's 5 days a week,
That's right.
Monday through Friday. Every weekday at 3 p.m. we'll be live on Mixer to bring you all the SPL games and throughout the day too. Not only that, though, one thing to mention for you all is that we're going to have some support for community PS4 tournaments. Now, if you are interested in playing on the PS4 and getting involved in the tournaments there, head over to esports.smitegame to get all your information about playing some PS4 tournaments.
Dude, that man is huge.
And on top of that, Esports Weekly.
Like
Every
that-
Monday, you can.
that's
tune
a
into
massive
everyone on
guy.
your Esports knowledge. I'm just doing this long on purpose because I know you are waiting for Baron Samedi. That's why. But Isaiah, you're here because we had some issues with console again.
Yeah. that's
Oh,
right.
boy.
Unfortunately, we had to have some extended downtime on Tuesday.
I'm blaming you.
I'm sorry, I'll take the blame. But
You
we've
better
been
have.
working really hard to get it fixed. We actually hot fixed on console today to fix a bunch of issues. But to kind of make up for the extended downtime on Xbox, on top of the already planned event this weekend, which is if you complete 3 first wins of the day this weekend, you'll earn an Enigma chest. And that's going to be on all platforms. But on top of that, on Xbox, if you get 1 first win of the day, you'll get 30 gems.
What?
Really? That's cool.
That's right.
So the console guys, you're gonna get some free gems thrown in there when you get your first 3
Right.
wins of the day.
Free
Right-
gems.
Right now, the game team is currently looking into the issues with the event. So as long as you complete those 3 first wins of the day, we'll make sure that everyone gets their rewards accordingly.
Let's
One
go.
other thing I've got to mention here as well, Isaiah.
30
is the Medusa
gems.
Deathmatch Community Stream Day. Is
Yeah.
that another stream day coming?
Yes, another stream day is coming up.
Okay.
It's going to be on Tuesday, June 19th, and it's going to be super exciting. As long as you stream the new Medusa's Deathmatch adventure, grab 2 of your friends, enter that 3v3v3 deathmatch.
I'm gonna do that.
And you can stream it to any platform. We have a form that you can fill out on smitegame.com, and we'll just send you codes.
Okay, so all you have to do
I
is
wanna
just
do
stream,
that.
Then
Exactly.
play in the 3v3.
That was 100 bits Imaginette.
That's simple. So how's
Which
your
Hi-Rez employee do I ask about daily
How
bundle
about you?
Yeah,
bugs?
what you wanna
I need to
talk
sell
about?
my soul for
I wanna
more
talk about,
skins.
some awesome stuff that's coming up with Xbox.
Go for it.
Yeah. So right now we've currently got an awesome deal going on. We've been featured with Xbox
Wait.
for Games with Gold. So starting actually right now, it's supposed to start this weekend, but I had MLC Stealth call up Microsoft. He was like, we kind of need this bundle a little bit
Yeah.
early. Yeah, MLC Stealth, he's got some clout. He called up Microsoft, got the bundle turned on early. So this week, starting now, you can get the Smite Gold bundle and get 20 guys. Over 30
I do
skins,
Hi-Rez
I don't know
caps
about
lock.
this.
Oh yeah.
I
There's
was
tons of
trolling.
stuff, Yeah.
I was trolling because everyone's waiting for the new god, and then you're out here giving me more info.
That's
Keep
very
going,
much-
Isaiah.
Yeah, so
I'm
the
okay with
Smite
this.
Gold bundle, it's an awesome deal. Over $100 worth of Smite content, all for free if you are an Xbox Live Gold member.
Well, there you go. Make sure you got the
Wait,
gold. That's
what?
To your account on the console, on Xbox, I should say. And you're
What?
good to go. That's it for the patch notes this week.
What?
I'm enjoying trolling because I've not got to do the god. So it's them that are gonna they're all gonna get upset we've not got to the god yet.
$100
What should we think about
worth
the
of
god?
content?
Oh,
All you need is
goodness, my
Xbox
favorite
Live?
thing is, definitely the
What?
Brew.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The brew's pretty good. So is the ultimate. But you know what? Have a look at this.
I wish they did this for every god that they release. Wait, I'll be right back, chat. I think it's like a 40 seconds longer. You didn't hear anything. Whoops.
Welcome to the party, everybody. Baron Samedi coming to a game near you very, very soon, and let's get right into it. I don't want to wait any longer. I'm sure you don't either. I'm joined now on the casual set by Chaos, Ajax, and Ben, guys who've all been on the update show before, except for you, Chaos. This is your first one, right?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Welcome in. my
Still a
friend.
familiar face, of
Yeah,
course.
of course. I mean, if you haven't followed Chaos's Jean Kui antics in his pro league career, then wait until after this and go watch some YouTube VODs. Guys, Baron is a god that I think as soon as he was announced, a lot of people got excited for right away. The art style looks incredible. You got a real feel for his fun-loving nature there in that little video. What inspired you guys to decide that Baron was the right call for our first voodoo god?
He is just iconic, really. Like, when he has all of the things you think of when you think of voodoo. He's got the skull paint, which you know how much we love skulls around here.
We do.
He's also just a really clear depiction, so you've seen interpretations of him in a lot of different things. Like, lots of different books, games, movies, shows, and stuff have used the kind of voodoo lore and drawn upon.
I spilled an entire glass of water on the
to
floor.
make really cool characters. So he's super iconic and he's super fun.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to make sure we had a fun god, especially when you
Don't
get
worry,
to
Chad, I
death
got
gods.
it.
We have a lot of like dark, edgy characters, like throwing zombies at you or whatever.
Don't
But Baron
worry.
is like a very different tone for a death god, which is really cool.
Was that difficult for you guys on the art team, Ben, to like kind of work around that, to try and stay away from that typical like just death and decay?
Don't worry, I'm here.
Like the
I'm
thing
just on
that
the
we wanted
side.
to keep true to him was like there's a lot of depictions, like you said. So like we had to like have that happen, but then also so we stay true to that, so you know when you see him like this is Baron Samedi, right? But then, yeah, just to go more fun with it. Even with like his proportions got a little bit lankier, and like when he does some animations and stuff, there'll be like some stretching and stuff. So it's a little bit more just like fun. So it wasn't that different. I mean,
Sure.
you just kind of went a different route. Like instead of going dark, you go vibrant. You know.
Right.
But yeah, it was fun.
All right. Well, before we get into it, Chaos, I should ask you a question because I haven't asked you a question yet. Is he fun then to play as a mid laner yourself? Get away from the programming side. This god, I'll spoil it. I played him. He's super fun in my mind. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I absolutely really enjoyed playing him. I thought with that fun spirit that he has, it brought a lot of ability to bring in a lot of cool things to Smite and a lot of cool different ways to play him.
Right.
And it's definitely really enjoyable using all of his abilities, the way they interact with each other, and I have a blast playing him, yeah.
I'm excited to show him off. So let's get right into his passive, I believe, is where we'll start. Or no, we have to go over a little bit of his lore, right, AJ?
Yeah. Did we
sorry.
show the card art too? I guess we showed that at the beginning.
We showed it. We spoiled this earlier
Oh yeah,
on.
okay. Because I'm sorry, this is just like some of the best card art we've ever done. If
so
not,
good.
This is awesome.
It was this got sent out internally, and I immediately saved it and set it as my desktop wallpaper. And then I walked up to go tell our team how great it was, and I saw multiple other people who had already done the same, like instantly.
Yes.
Which usually people keep their favorite god there, so I'm really happy with this. And we got to do a little lore intro, just short. We're going to get into the kit right away. Don't worry. But he's our first voodoo god. So voodoo has these spirits called Loa, which are essentially their kind of roster of gods. They're each Loa over specific things. Baron is the Loa of death. And he has different tones, though, than normal death gods. Baron is about welcoming people to death and to the afterlife and helping them cross over safely and making sure that there's nothing strange that goes along the way. He very much does not like undeath or zombies. He's very much against that.
I'm back.
So he is also the bringer of life, right? So he can cure
Who
people.
cares?
He can cure curses, and he can heal people. He's more of
Yeah,
a
I don't.
decider
Sorry.
if it's ready for you to die and you go directly to the afterlife, or if you need to stay in this life.
Gotcha.
And we've used a lot of that theme of life and death in his kit. And that's kind of translated into this supporter, utility, healer mage that really just wants to stay in combat for a long time. Especially the longer he fights, there's multiple mechanics. The longer he fights, the better he's going to be in that team.
Yeah, it feels like he's got there's a million things when we're talking about what Baron has dominion over or what he does.
SSG,
There's
Xbox,
a
what do
million
you
other
mean?
things in his lore, and I feel like the kit had a lot of stuff that it had to hit if it was going to be Baron Samedi, and I think that
Like the
we
fish
got
tank
there
on
pretty
Xbox?
nicely. So let's get into it then with the passive. His passive is called Hysteria, and there's a couple parts to this, but let's start with what
We're talking about, like,
Isaiah
console
kind of
team.
talked about there, that Baron's brew.
Yeah, so there's basically two parts to it. We really wanted to get across how infectious his party spirit was and how he kind of spreads this hysteria. And we noticed when we were researching him that he tends to drink this rum, he carries around this rum a lot. So we thought, what would be a better way to get the party started than offering his friends some of that rum? So Baron's Brew is it's a unique consumable chalice that you can buy in the shop.
Okay.
It only costs about 150 gold, and it restores health and mana over time.
So this is just it works like a multi potion normally.
Yeah, basically it's like a chalice multi-pot. It's a little worse than the health and mana chalices, but it's a little bit better than its gold would suggest.
Okay, so 150 gold for this in the potion. This is our first time getting a chance to see him in game as well. I love this. He's just like randomly snapping.
That's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a tune playing in his head.
Yeah, he sure does.
All the time.
Yeah, he has a lot of really cool animations like this, and it's just really playing up that party spirit. So, of course, to get the party started, he's going to share that rum with his whole team. If Baron is on your team, you have access to this item.
So it's not like
Baron, no item.
Everyone on the team can get this as well.
Correct.
You don't have a limited number.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so you get an extra little bit of bonus just for having Baron on your squad. Wait, was that his regular jump?
That was. He has a very flavorful jump.
That's so cool. My man is nimble.
Yeah,
like he's got some
This
moves.
guy's actually really cool.
He really is. Look at that. Oh man, I love this character so much.
I'm not a design person.
All right, so you said there's 2 parts.
And this is really
Hysteria.
cool.
What's the second part?
Right, so the second part is we didn't want to exclude anybody from the party, so we wanted to make sure that he could basically apply this Hysteria to his enemies. And so Hysteria is basically a stacking debuff that gets applied from all your abilities and your auto attacks that ramps up over time. You can kind of think of Hysteria as having 3 different stages. There's basically like no Hysteria, some Hysteria, which is about 30, and then max Hysteria. When you're at no Hysteria and you're just using your abilities, basically all of them have their base functionality, they all do the same thing. But when you get over to that min Hysteria, that 30, all of your abilities actually end up doing extra effects.
Okay.
And they add on and it augments them to do cooler things. When you get to that max Hysteria, all of your damage sources end up doing an extra 25% more damage.
Okay, so you really want to hit either one person with a lot of stuff or everyone with at least a little bit to make sure that you're spreading this Hysteria fairly effectively. You can see the little bar there on the right-hand side. That's how you keep track of it?
Right.
Yes. And there's definitely an emphasis on trying to focus probably one target.
Okay.
Because when you hit that person or that one target, there's a lot of effects that end up being applied to everybody else around him. So it's really good to ramp it up on at least one person.
Yeah, it looks like it takes a little bit, at least just from auto attacks, in order to get that up there. Abilities will apply Hysteria as well?
Yes. Okay. And the thing is, the Hysteria will start decaying over time as long as Baron hasn't hit you within the previous 5 seconds.
Okay, cool. And Ben, this looks like it's easy to see, but also not particularly intrusive. What were some of the design iterations that you guys went through for just how it looked on your character and on enemy characters?
Like the skull you're talking about?
Yeah, the skull in the meter as well, if you can talk about that at all. I don't know if that's what...
mainly the skull stuff is what we kind of worked on. We took, basically he has this really cool crystal skull, and we were like, you know what, man, we want to have that be reused in areas where it makes sense. And then we saw a lot of the depictions are undead people and stuff like this, partying with those guys, so we wanted to have something that was representative of that, and a skull is kind of crazy, so we thought it made sense for the Hysteria thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly big or anything like that, but it's
kind of laughing too.
Noticeable.
Yeah, it's not just a creepy skull. He's having a good time,
Yeah, I was about to chime in with that too. The Hysteria, although it's a debuff, it's infectious fun. It's kind of making them go crazy in a fun way. So we have this skull laughing. I will point out that the skull animations and position are still work in progress.
Sure.
About the only two things today, and we still have some time to work on the god that are work in progress, are going to be the skull on enemies, and eventually when we get to the snake on enemies, we're attaching other models to other characters, so those are still work in progress. But the abilities are all functioning and working as intended. So Hysteria is a really cool mechanic. I think Chaos explained the core of it really well, but it really brings to a whole bunch of different play styles. So you can order your abilities in any order you choose to help build up to get that Hysteria in one combo.
Okay.
So if you do 3, 2, 1, you'll most likely get the buffed 1. But if you do 1, 2, 3, you get the buffed 3 on a fresh target, and that can play out completely differently depending on how you like to play or what type of target opponent you have. Also, the Hysteria builds slowly and lasts a long time. So if the fight is lasting a long time, or if you're playing and rotating a lot or playing him in non-conquest modes, you can really spread it out and try to keep it on all the enemies and make your overall teamfight presence way stronger.
We use those extra effects on the abilities.
Yeah, you also will see it. You can you'll often change your mind in combat a little bit with him. You'll throw out some abilities into a team fight. You maybe hit someone you don't expect, and now you see that skull, you see that meter, you go, okay, that's my guy now.
Right.
Because you know you're going to get all the buffed effects on that target.
Yeah.
So it really adds a lot of creativity to his playstyle
cool.
and a lot of quick decision making.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. More options usually means these characters that have flexibility, but also get
to the abilities.
Cap options, and that's something
Very
that I'm
true.
always very excited about.
All right.
Let's look at the one. This is
Yes.
probably
Yes.
one of my favorite abilities in the whole kit. Vivid Gaze.
What?
Look at that targeter. Very
What?
It moves.
It
Okay.
is.
So this is a totally different type
What?
of shot here. So they 2 skulls go up and shoot out crosses.
What? Okay, that's really
Shoot-
cool.
Just shoot them.
Yeah.
But it's
So-
very, very mobile on this ability.
What you're seeing
That looks
here
really
is
cool.
2 beams shot from the Crystal Skull's eyes. That's their gaze. And this is a damaging ability.
Aha.
It overlaps, and so you can hit targets in that sweet spot to hit with both beams, and you can scale that in or out.
Okay.
So if you hit with both beams, it's going to deal less damage on the second hit, as is pretty common in Smite.
Right.
So this is basically his core lane clear.
Welcome back, Willem C. Thanks for the
poke ability.
10-month tier 1
And
resub.
the
Welcome back,
Hysteria
baby.
bonus is actually a power decrease.
Oh,
So if the
okay.
target
So
is
his one
hysterical,
is
when you
Kali
hit them with
3.
this, they're going to get
2.
percent reduction of their physical and
close.
magical power and percent attack speed reduction.
Okay.
So this
What?
is kind of his preventative attack as well.
Yeah, not a lot of spoiler alert. Not a lot of mobility on this god, so this is something that can give him a little bit of help in those team fights. This ability is crazy fun to use, and probably one of my favorites. It does make his lane clear a little bit risky, I think, but it's a lower cooldown, right? So we can use this a lot.
Right.
Perfect.
And Chaos did quite a bit of cool work on this just to make sure this scaling targeter tech works really well. And we're hoping to reuse that in some more things in the future to make really more unique targeters in Smite, which is really fun.
Yeah, what's really cool is that basically both of these different skulls are independently controlled, and they can actually do different things. But for this case, we thought a first use case for this kind of tech was having the 2 deployables that fire these beams. But what's really cool is that they are completely independent of each other, so we can control them different ways.
That's really dope.
And we love making unique targeter shapes.
Right, and you can tell where it's going to hit before it actually ends up hitting, so if you have a quick reaction time, you can leap away, against dash.
Good warm-up feedback, yeah. And we went with the X just because the crossroads is a very key theme for Baron, life and death, the intersection, so wanted to show that off too.
All right, awesome. Next up is Consign Spirits. So Consign to get them to help you out a little bit in this regard. Get a little bit of a circle target
Vulcan
that has a little bit of
backfire?
a delay, but it looks like something came back to Baron there. Does he get something from this?
Yeah, so basically when he's guiding these souls to this spot, and he's putting them to rest. And then when it finishes, basically these friendly souls pop out and fly to any nearby allies that are either by the target you hit
Wait,
or
is
by
that supposed to be
Baron
that way?
himself.
Okay.
And they bring back life in the form of base HP and
Oh,
percent of
placeholder,
missing
okay.
HP.
Okay, cool.
So of the heal that you're getting.
Yes.
So if you're lower, then you get healed more. It's not about your enemy.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And basically, if you're at over that min hysteria threshold, that 30, then the souls also bring back a cleanse of slows, immunity to slows, and a move speed buff.
Wow.
Okay.
So you can see that swirl at his feet. That
Right.
will not occur if you hit a fresh target, but if you hit a hysterical target, you will get that movement speed. And that is his only mobility in his kit, is this conditional have to hit.
And it's only what, a 2-second or 3-second speed up?
Yeah, it's a pretty
low.
solid speed buff, though.
Right, okay.
So what we really wanted to do here is design a true combat heal.
Okay.
You have to hit an enemy god.
Right, so
to
no
get
minions,
any healing here.
no jungle camps.
Right. You have
just
to hit
gods.
And if you hit any one enemy god, it'll heal everybody once. There's no scaling on god hits.
So it won't heal you twice for 2 gods.
But what's
right?
really cool about it is that extra percent health missing that Chaos mentioned. This is our first heal that scales off of missing health. So if Baron is almost dead or one of his teammates are almost dead, this heal is more potent.
Gotcha.
Which is really cool and encourages his stay in the combat and stack those debuffs playstyles.
Right, and very, I mean, this heal seems to be pretty solid there overall. I mean, 140 for just the flat heal in general once it's max, plus 15% of your missing health. You can make some clutch plays.
Yeah, I mean, we were playing support Baron a lot and stuff like that, and he can be slippery with this, and he can heal back up and turn the fight around on you real well. And just for the theming, we wanted to make sure he's putting souls away and they're
That's
going
pretty cool.
to people. Baron does not like just releasing things. He's not like Hades or Opwatch just releasing undead. He's
Right.
very much about laying people to rest and finding a resting place for them. So
And it looks like
theming is there.
the timing for the combo of the 2-1, they'll if you deploy them one after another, they'll hit right around the same time. So you can get some pretty solid bursts on an enemy target.
You can.
With good timing, but not easy. All right, third ability is Wrap It Up. Yeah. He shoots off a snake that will go to the enemy target and do some different things based on the hysteria level. It looks like that snake is staying on them for a little bit. Ends up building a
It gives him a lot of hysteria
as well.
Right, so this is his primary hysteria generator. This will create the most. It would make sense putting snake on someone would scare you. Or excite you, I guess, depending on what type of person you are. So we wanted to bring something unique to Baron. You know, he has a very clear depiction, but we also want to bring something that was our own. Something from a little bit more Smite. So we added this snake to, you know, it add a lot of flavor to just his model, and when he's standing there and he used his art and his staff, you see this living snake on it, and it's expressive.
When he's like tapping his feet, the snake's popping his head to the beat. It's really cool.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a couple other places we use the snake like that, which is great. And then also we wanted to use it as an ability because it feels like something he might do.
Yeah. Sure.
So we throw the snake, and what you're going to see is a damage over time and a slow to root. So that's what you're seeing on enemies. The builds up hysteria over time, and then it's a slow to a root, and you get the snake that stays on you. So that has a significance. If a target is hysterical and you get hit with the snake, he's going to have an AoE. And any other enemies nearby the snake will also get slowed to root if they stay there too long. So what you can see is that that area radius and then a timer. You have to stay near the snaked enemy for a specific amount of time, and then the snake will hit you. It doesn't spread, it doesn't chain multiple areas, but once you are, you know, the bomb character, your teammates need to get away from you, or they will also get hit by the snake and suffer from that slow to root.
Okay, that's really awesome.
That sounds awful.
He doesn't have a ton of CC through the first 3 abilities at least, but it feels like this is the main one where he can set up for himself with this combo. But again, a lot of warning that you're about to get CC'd, whether you're the one hit by the snake or just next to your teammate who did.
Right, and what's really cool is the snake is actually independently for each player. So each player is going to have their own warning and their own cooldown from the snake. And we felt it was really cool to give the snake its own devices to actually lash out and attack other players.
Yeah, so again, you said that before this FX is still a little bit of a work in
Specifically
progress.
that snake on flying around the characters. We're still working on the shape and size and speed and rotation of that snake. We're going to put a snake on people, but we're still animating that.
Sure, still working on
That's
it.
a self-peel.
The functionality of the ability.
Well, his 1 and his 3. Well, actually,
all right, well,
all of
let's
it's
get right
self-peel.
into the ultimate then. Baron, well, he's the life of the party, and that's the name of his ultimate ability. And this one is pretty nuts.
The party's this way.
That is so much cooler than I thought it was even going to be. I love it that he pulls the crypt out of the ground and sits on it. Then it'll bring everyone close to him, and it looks like it stuns the first person that hits him.
Yeah, so basically we wanted to, we thought it would be really cool if we gave Baron a way to basically bring people back to the party, right?
Sure.
So the first person that actually hits the coffin is going to get stunned, and they're going to take a massive amount of damage, both total percent HP damage and base.
Okay.
So basically when you start pulling these people, if they're at no hysteria, they're going to be pulled at like a slower rate. But when they hit over that min hysteria, they'll start getting pulled in faster and faster.
Okay, so if you have like no hysteria, can you walk out of this still? Like, does it, even if you're on the edge, is that how weak is that pull at a range?
I don't think you can just walk out, but you have a much higher amount of time to react to it.
Sure.
But once you start getting pulled in faster, it's like you got to make a decision pretty quickly.
It also builds hysteria, so you can see he had a fresh Odin there, and the first couple ticks he barely moved, but then it ramped up and started pulling him in. Yeah.
So
Whoa.
The other cool thing too is actually if you hit a target with this, they instantly go to max hysteria. So all of your abilities that you can chain after that on that stun are going to be doing that extra 25% damage.
Okay, cool.
Wait, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And have all the extra effects that he brings. But you said that the first person that it hits, it stuns. It looks like it ends the ultimate right away as soon as someone
Right.
gets
So
stunned.
once somebody finally hits the coffin, he basically slams it shut on them, pulling out their soul, and the ability ends.
Okay, so you can end up taking one for the team, jumping in front, taking that damage, and ending the ultimate for
Actually,
your
a
squad.
very common play, as we found in our testing, and a very smart play for the support to really try to sacrifice themselves to Baron and take that coffin hit. Because if he
Good old support
drives it down,
players,
he gets
dude.
squishy with that, they are going to be in trouble.
You get to put your full combo on him basically, or maybe not the full combo, but a lot of guaranteed damage it feels like off of it.
Right. And something that Clumsy was showing a lot too, that's really awesome, is that this is the first time we've had a vortex that you can actually move and aim while you're pulling in people. We've never had that before in Smite, and it's super cool how it turned out.
Yeah, it looks really.
So
It looks
a lot
really
of programming work by Chaos. He did a great job because Poseidon, Hades, everything sits still that pulls you in. This is the first one that actually changes area, and not only does it change the area, it lets you completely free aim it, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
It also hits through walls.
Oh, it does.
Okay.
So, but you obviously they
You don't
wouldn't
go
get
through the
stunned,
wall.
right?
You can't
yeah,
get pulled
What?
through, but you can take the damage and get stuck against the wall.
That's really, really cool.
What?
Sets up perfectly for his combination. He does look a little bit vulnerable during that, though, without any sort of mobility.
So
he's slowed.
he actually gets I'm not sure the exact percentage, but he gets damage mitigation. It's percent damage mitigation. So I can't see what's
50%.
I don't think it's.
Looks like half.
No, it's
50. Yeah. 50.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
So
he
he
take
takes-
half as much damage. He's pretty much a sitting duck there. You can unload on him still pretty easily. So it's very dangerous for him to use this. It takes a lot of careful positioning. But he is CC immune, and he's also moving slower. So.
Sure. Can you cancel it early when you're using
Wait, when's PTS coming out?
Okay.
Oh my god, Jackie, thanks for the 17-month tier 1
That's
resub.
what happens when
Welcome
you
back,
use
baby.
infinite cooldown cheats.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
man. Oh, dude, Ganesh holding this? Yeah,
That
dude.
is no good. Let's take a
Holy.
listen to that voice pack since we just got a preview of it.
Excellent. I am your party.
That's his taunt animation.
Hold on. Well, I'm just saying, Royalty, thanks for the Prime sub. Don't want people to miss this. Thank you so much, Royalty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Excellent. Excellent.
I
yeah.
love
this
this character.
Nice.
Sounds like taunts and jokes
Attack
and laughs
middle,
are still work in
right.
progress on
Yes.
this, which we saw in other skins. So we'll see those soon.
Right, those will be up. Those will be up soon. But certainly the
Yes.
animation is good and is
There's
cool to
the
see
spirit.
already.
There's the
Man,
spirit.
the entire
Swagger,
like the entire just everything about this guy just fits so well together. He looks like he really is going to be a full-on party to play. Brings a lot to the table. Chaos, I'll ask you this: if you were still on the enemy days, is Payne telling you to play this god every game?
100%. Yeah, no, he's nuts.
Every time.
Well, we'll fix that if it's too much, but he's a lot of fun, and he has a lot of unique ways to play him, which is
Sure.
cool. We thought of him as with support in mind. He's still a mage, but he could. We've been testing him a lot of support and solo and stuff like that. He works really well with a tanky cooldown build. A lot of his abilities require him to be in the middle of combat, be in the thick of things, which puts him at risk. So that build works pretty well with him. But if you're not doing any damage, then you're not doing too much either. So it's a tight balance there. And he's got very little mobility, so that the little tanky style can help him with that too. So keep him from dying too often.
Also got to give shout outs to Scott Kletzka. He was the 3D character artist for this. This is his first god,
First
Ben?
god, he killed it, man.
Man,
He killed it.
Incredible. Really, really awesome stuff. We got his recolor here for you guys to check out as well. Red Rum is the name of this one.
That's a nice.
I love it.
And look, his zombie friend, or his skeleton friends in the underworld are
hanging out.
and the
They're like-
afterlife are just crowd surfing him.
Baron.
He is
like
he is
that.
partying.
Always partying. Man, I'm so excited for this god. I cannot wait to get my hands on him again. I've been waiting to play him ever since I got a chance to play test him forever ago, like when everything was still very different for him. We can take a look at that recolor in game. There he is.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that red and black looks
That
so
really
good.
pops.
It's a nice color scheme, so we really wanted to bring it to the table on this one.
Yeah, that's one of the deeper reds that we've
Yeah.
seen for
Yeah.
sure. I think in one of those skins, and it
He
makes
ha-
the skull
he
red.
has like the skull gets red, and he has like this velvet kind of feel. So like there's a nice range of the red in the
Yeah.
actual suit.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Very textured.
Yeah.
Overall, the man the dresses as he feels, as he acts, smooth all the way across. He's got his brew there as well. That's Baron Samedi.
And he's
for
got
you
his
guys.
cigar in his hat too, which he's often pictured with too.
Nice.
And a card.
Very, very nice. Can't encourage the smoking though. He's got that's staying in the hat, right?
I mean, it was more like we just didn't want him like carrying it and having to deal with it with his abilities and then like put it away and all that stuff. It was just like a bit much. So we made sure they're present there and we incorporated those types of things into his abilities. But he's not just like constantly holding things in his hands.
Just some flavor items,
So yeah, exactly. He's got to be prepared for any party.
That's right, man.
Not all parties are the same vibe. I believe I just heard that we got the mastery card for him as well. We're getting those out early.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that. That looks dope.
We've been doing this with the last few gods. Have been getting the masteries done on the same patch
That looks
as
sick.
the god launches, which is really cool.
Okay.
Props to Ben and his team for getting those things done.
So you guys get to show off that you've been grinding Baron ever since his release. The blue and gold.
Because people really do. They go.
they do.
They go hard on some of these new gods, and we end up with diamonds in like the first week. So now you'll be able to show that off even more with the gold, legendary, and diamond Baron. Which of course his outfit looks great in all colors. So.
Yep.
The man
kind of like
couldn't
Grim
look bad if
Fandango,
he tried,
like
it feels like.
yeah,
I love
vibe to
the
him.
like the flare on the collar right there.
Yeah.
The deep V is a good look right there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of us can pull that off.
We really did want to go with this kind of flourishy and confident animation style and presentation. So, you know, if you read the blog post, you can see some of the other just outfits we tested with him and why we came up with this one in the end. And the animation team really went above and beyond just to add that personality and flavor into every bit of animation for him. His recall and his enter the arena are really great too. We can show the recall here after we look at this.
Yeah, I should be able to take a look at
His
that.
lobby animations are really cool. We use the
looks
coffin
smooth.
in a bunch of interesting ways. His death animation is pretty sweet.
Oh,
He snaps his fingers and he just jumps in the
I
coffin.
love like
That's
he
so-
like
that's-
stomps his feet, opens it up.
It's so
The
snappy.
timing
and-
is perfect
Yeah,
on
the-
all this.
Oh, it's
Dude.
so good.
it's amazing.
I can't handle
That
this.
is one of the that is a
Dude.
fantastic animation. Props to our team for that.
Man, it just like he just flows so well.
Dude.
This is really really awesome.
Total package, man.
He really is.
We've got the diamond now too, which of
Oh,
course
Look at that teal.
the swag of swag.
Yes, you can't get any more swagged out than being
Look
an
at
all
that.
diamond
Diamonds.
collar. The diamond snake.
Diamond Snake.
Always, baby. He's got it all working for him. So you expect to, like you said, a lot of stuff in the mid lane. Tried him out a little bit in support and solo, but do you expect him to be mostly a fairly traditional mid mage with a little bit of utility involved?
I think so. You never really know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Players use gods in so many unique and creative ways. We're happy to see how they experiment with this god, but I think he is a solid mid laner with lots of applications elsewhere.
Whenever I was looking at the abilities, you know, one of the things that I look at as a former competitive mid laner chaos is safety and lane clear. Did you find yourself standing right next to the front of the wave and trying to hit the archers with the X, or like using one of the side shots from an angle?
So
almost?
I did it a little bit similar to how I kind of played Giannis, but it was more like I'm a little bit off to the side and trying to get the diagonal to hit as many minions as possible.
Okay.
And that seemed to be the most effective on wave.
Cool. Yeah, really awesome. And you're leveling the 1 to clear the wave most of the time.
Yeah,
and
I
not
was
the
maxing
2?
the 1, and then I think it was the 2 afterwards. Yeah.
Nice. Looks like a
Nice.
really really fun god to play. Very excited to get my hands on him. Speaking of getting your hands on him, I know you guys are probably very excited to play him on the PTS. We don't have an exact ETA on when the PTS will be up, but keep an eye on all of our official Twitter feeds, things like that. We'll be updating you as much as we can in that regard, but working on it. No guarantees.
We've been trying really hard to get it out on the Friday nights.
Yes.
After the patch show, it's looking pretty good. Baron himself has a couple things just to finish up, a couple other issues, but I think we're going to be able to get those up and get it up tonight. But keep an eye out. It might be a little later.
Sure. So maybe tonight. Again, check all of our official Twitter accounts and all that kind of stuff for updates on that.
I wanna play with
Guys,
them
thank you
tomorrow,
very much
dude.
for joining us. I mean, 5.11 looks like one of the best updates in a long time. Really excited about that tier buff, by the way.
It's a very exciting buff.
That's going to be fun to watch. That does it for Life and Death, the 5.11 update show. We're going to go to a quick break, but stick around because we've got some Smite minor league action coming your way in just a little bit. We'll see you later.
All right, chat. But I think I went over like pretty much everything, right? Well, I already went over everything. Well, I guess talk about Baron a little bit. I think it depends on how much damage his 1 does if he can be played mid. Because right now the biggest thing mid, I think, is clearing waves and farming efficiently, and he also is not really safe at all, like at all. I think you're kind of like an op wash in mid, kind of. Well, I guess with like a little bit more peel for yourself, but and a CC immune ult, that's pretty nice. But yeah, he's definitely pretty scary to play mid. So I think unless you can get like tankiness online, I don't think you can play mid. So most likely support or solo, I think, from my perspective, just because he's not very safe mid, and unsafe mid laners have always struggled, like, and pretty much forever in Smite. So we'll see. We'll see, chat. Alright, I have an hour before scrim,